Hey guys, how's it going? It's Etanyos here, and welcome to today's video. We are going to be talking about a rather controversial topic, as you could probably tell by the title and the thumbnail, but we're going to be talking about my top 10 centers in the NHL right now in brackets, because this is right now, this is current NHL, this isn't how players were 5 years ago, this is about how they played this very past season and how they're ranking. So guys, I'm gonna be ranking these guys off of a few different things. Obviously the first thing is going to be like their points, how many goals and assists they're able to put up. Second is going to be their team, so the situation they're in, like who is surrounding them as far as their teammates go. And 3 is their role, so if they're playing first line for their team, second line for their team, that kind of thing. So first off, I'm going to start with some honorable mentions. So my honorable mentions are going to go out to Jonathan Toews, Tyler Seguin, Sebastian Aho, and Mark Scheifele, as well as Logan Couture. The reason for these players is because they all are top centers for their teams. They put up really good points. They were in the top 30, I believe, in the league for all of them. Yeah, all of them were in the top 30. And they just put up really solid numbers as far as plus minus goes, as far as how well they do in face-offs, as far as how many points they put up. They're all the number one center for their team. And these guys are really just solid pieces in the league. They're not the superstars of the league, but they're not far off by any means. So moving into my top 10 now, and this is coming off of the current season that just happened. Number 10, we have Ryan O'Reilly of the St. Louis Blues. This season, guys, Ryan O'Reilly had a fabulous season, won the Conn Smythe for St. Louis as they won the Cup. He was able to put up 28 goals and 49 assists for 77 points. Obviously, they had a pretty rough start to the year, but he actually finished the year plus 22 on the season. Just absolutely outstanding there. And Ryan O'Reilly was just solid. He's one of the best two-way centers in the game. I'm not going to say he is the best, because I think there are a couple guys that do top him in that category, but he was able to outshine a couple other very good centermen in the playoffs, and Ryan O'Reilly will be claiming the number 10 spot with this most recent performance. Moving on to number 9, I have John Tavares of the Toronto Maple Leafs. This season, Tavares put up 47 goals and 41 assists for 88 points in 82 games with the Toronto Maple Leafs. He was plus 19 on the year, so he was able to show how he is a defensively sound player. He's just been improving on that throughout his career. Obviously, when he came into the league and when he was playing with the Islanders, it was more based on how good he was offensively. But now he has started to shift his game, and it is apparent that he is a very good two-way center with that plus rating there as well. Moving on to number 8, I have Braden Point. This season, Braden Point did play for the Tampa Bay Lightning. He played in 79 of the 82 possible games. He had 41 goals and 51 assists for 92 points, as well as he was plus 27 on the year. The reason I'm ranking Point above Tavares is because he put up more points in less games. I do understand that he was playing a slightly lesser role than Tavares. He didn't have as difficult defensive responsibilities as Tavares did, playing against other teams' top lines. Obviously, that would have been Stamkos' job for Tampa Bay, but Braden Point was still able to put up an absurd amount of points, and being a third-round pick too, I'm ranking Braden Point as the 8th best center in the NHL currently. Moving on to number 7, we have Austin Matthews. And Austin Matthews actually had a pretty rough season here. He had an injury and only ended up playing in 68 games this season. He still put up more than a point per game at 73 points. He had 37 goals and 36 assists on the year. He was minus 9, so not the greatest defensive responsibility, but coming into the league, I think it's only his second. This is his 3rd year in the league now, guys. So can you blame the guy? He's still learning how to play two-way NHL hockey. Obviously, he has that ridiculous offensive upside, the crazy release, the amazing vision, and yeah, just Matthews is going to be a top 5 center in the league in absolutely no time. But that's where I'm ranking Matthews for now, at number 7. Moving on to number 6, we have Steven Stamkos of the Tampa Bay Lightning. This season, Steven Stamkos put up 98 points, 45 goals and 53 assists in 82 games, and he was +4 on the year. Obviously, he was playing with the top goal scorer top point scorer in the league in Nikita Kucherov, but Stamkos still was able to hold his own just fine, going up against a lot of other very good centers, and came out with a ton of points. Even though Tampa Bay was swept in the first round, I think they will come back next year just as strong as they were this year. And yeah, just an absolutely fabulous season there from Stamkos, and we've been seeing him scoring like this for a long time. His assist numbers were absolutely through the roof this year. I feel like he normally has a few more goals than assists, but yeah, Stamkos is going to land just outside the top 5 there at number 6. Moving on to my top 5 center in the league, I have Patrice Bergeron of the Boston Bruins. This season, Bergeron played on possibly the best line in the NHL, centering Pastrnak and Brad Marchand. But this season, in just 65 games, he did have an injury. In just 65 games, Patrice Bergeron was able to put up 79 points. He was also +23 on the season and just had a fabulous campaign, leading Boston all the way to the Cup Finals. And I mean, if Chara was retired, Bergeron would easily be Boston's captain, but Bergeron, I would say, is probably the best two-way center in the game right now. The way he just can shut down and match up with the other team's top-line center or even top player. It doesn't even have to be the center. Bergeron is that guy all the time. He wins faceoffs. He's more than responsible in his own end, and he has proved that year after year with Boston. Moving on to number 4 on this list, I have Alexander Barkov of the Florida Panthers. This season, Barkov finished 10th in league scoring with 96 points in 82 games. He had 35 goals and 61 assists. He was -3 on a rather weak Florida team, but still was able to put up some absurd numbers. Barkov, again, is one of those two-way centers. He has shown that he is defensively responsible. He's able to cut off plays and make plays with those interceptions, and has just been a fabulous player for his team. Obviously, he is the captain in Florida, and if Florida can put the pieces together, I do believe they will have a very good leader there in Barkov to take them into the playoffs in the next couple years. Moving on to number 3, I have Nathan MacKinnon of the Colorado Avalanche. MacKinnon was drafted just ahead of Barkov back in, I want to say it was 2013. And this season, he was able to put up just shy of 100 points, 41 goals and 58 assists for 99 points in 82 games played. MacKinnon centered one of those other just absolutely stacked lines. He was in between Mikko Rantanen and Gabriel Landeskog, and Colorado just had an insanely good top-heavy first line there. But MacKinnon plays with speed and strength and skill, and he's just unstoppable when he's on the ice. And again, he had an absolutely fabulous playoffs to go along with this 99-point season. He was +20 in the regular season. So just a phenomenal campaign from Nathan MacKinnon. He did finish 7th in league scoring. Moving on to my second best center in the NHL right now, I have Sidney Crosby of the Pittsburgh Penguins. This 32-year-old center was able to put up 100 points in just 79 games. He had 35 goals and 65 assists, as well as he was +18 on the year. Sidney Crosby has been one of the top 1 or 2 centers in the league for the last 10 years, and probably for the last 5 before McDavid was in the league. I would say Crosby was probably the top center that whole time, but 100 points. Crosby has gotten more responsible in his own end. He makes those plays and he gets out of his own end. And Pittsburgh, obviously, they've won a couple cups now. They've won 3 actually with Crosby, but Crosby has shown that leadership that it takes to win championships, and I wouldn't be surprised if Pittsburgh wins one more championship before Crosby's time is up there. Moving on to the best center in the NHL, in my opinion, guys, we have Connor McDavid of the Edmonton Oilers, and no, this is not bias. This is me just ranking them as far as my opinion goes. Connor McDavid was able to put up 116 points in just 78 games this season. He had 41 goals and 75 assists. McDavid was only +3 on the year, but he was playing on a rather weak Edmonton Oilers team. Connor McDavid is simply the best offensive player in the league. His speed, his skill, and his vision opens up the ice and slices apart the other team's defense in seconds. McDavid still needs to work on his defensive side of his game, but at just 22 years old, there is so much upside for this center that I don't think anybody else can match him. So guys, that is going to be it. That is my top 10 centers in the NHL. If you guys enjoyed this video or have your own opinion, go down below and leave it in the comments. Don't forget to leave a like on the video. It helps with the YouTube algorithm. And that's going to be it. I hope you enjoyed. This is Etanyos signing off, and see ya.